Now, when the war was over, the Muslims, they took the spoils of war, those pagans who fled, and they left their shields, their swords, their valuables, or even those who were dead. Remember, the sword was very expensive at the time. The shield, the armor was very expensive. And it was a given that when you win the battle, you go and you take the spoils of war. So when they were taking the spoils of war, something interesting happened. We see that there was division and quarreling amongst the Muslims. Some of them said, we should take the spoils of war because we had a more important role. We were out there on the front line fighting. Another group of Muslims says, no, we were in the back defending the Prophet. Some of them said, no, we were carrying, spears and arrows. Others said, no, we were, engaging in one-on-one combat. So each group wanted the spoils of war to themselves. Now this in itself, even though it's the natural reaction of a human being, everybody has that selfishness in them and they want these goods to themselves. But what's really interesting and a little bit disturbing is that you're before the messenger of God. You just witnessed how God supported you. And suddenly you start thinking of materialism. That's the most difficult test of the human being. Sometimes the human being makes big sacrifices, but his heart is still attached to this world. And these companions demonstrated that. You just won the battle. Just go to Medina and sleep peacefully that night. No, they're fighting over the war booties, over these spoils. Who should get more? And this kind of, disturbed the Prophet ﷺ because, it's expected of them to be at a higher level of faith where they don't quarrel over these worldly issues. But this did happen after the Battle of Badr. So the Prophet ﷺ, to curb, their material desires and to basically train them to get along with one another, he said, I'm not going to divide the spoils of war here. Let's take it with us, and then on our way to Medina, we'll stop at a place, I will divide it. And he appointed a man from the Ansar by the name of Abdullah ibn Ka'b. He came from Bani Najjar. The Prophet told him, you with your men guard all the valuables and spoils of war. Keep them with you. Let's march towards Medina, and then in the way I will decide what happens. The Prophet ﷺ wanted them all to contemplate and think, look, don't be selfish and say, well, I was in the front line, in the attack position, putting my life in danger. I was defending the Prophet in the back. I was doing this. Don't think of it. Think of it as a collective effort. All of you participated. All of you deserve the same exact amount. And that's how the Prophet trained them to always pursue justice, not to be blinded by selfishness, by selfish desires. He wanted to give them some time before he would do that. Interestingly, one of the companions who objected, by the way, was Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. When the Prophet reached a place and he divided and distributed the spoils of war equally amongst the companions, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas didn't like it, according to some sources. He told him, Ya Rasulullah, I come from the tribe of Bani Zuhra. I'm a high-ranking member of that tribe, and it's a very prestigious tribe. You give me the same spoils of war you gave some of these farmers in Medina? See that racism there? Subhanallah. This hurt the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet explained to him. He told him the whole reason that I went to battle was to establish justice and free you people from racism. So I bring equality to all of you. That's the whole mission of Islam. That's the objective of Islam. So you want me here to be racist and to give you more than others? That defeats my purpose. Then why did I come out to fight in the first place? If I want to, implement favoritism and prejudice and racism, we might as well just stay in Mecca and win with the Meccans. The whole reason why I fought is to bring equality and justice. So the Prophet rejected his offer. He said, no, I will spread this equally. So the Prophet ﷺ, on his way to Medina, they got to a place and the Prophet distributed the spoils of war. And then the Prophet went to the city of Medina.